Feral Audio.
Welcome to our Father's Day Danny and Mike one-shot, wherein the guys discuss sins of omission, Homer Simpson indicators, and ritually roasting our fathers. Now play the music, Daddy.
Daniel, my brother.
Okay, that's
You are
I hadn't
redder than me,
little Pomodoro.
Okay.
floating in the sea.
You
You
are
have no papers,
And
but
you're
that
a can
didn't stop
of
you
sauce.
at all.
'Cause I grabbed the Bible and ripped a piece of paper out of it, yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. Bet you
Daniel.
didn't know that it's made from rice paper. Din, din, din,
Dan,
din.
we have one thing.
What?
Mike and I have one thing.
What? Oh, that you sing songs?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
our one thing.
Yeah, don't fuck that up for
Well,
us.
guys, I just want to say it's very unoriginal of both of you to sing Daniel to me, which I found out recently. Toto covered that song.
Oh, I thought you were
Yeah.
going to say
Right
wrote that
as
song.
no, didn't write it, but like,
Nice
they
try.
wanted it, and they said, "Can we record it?" Sir Elton, no, he probably wasn't Sir then. It was Mr. Elton John, and he said, "Yeah." And then like a week later, he recorded it himself, and like no one knew about the
wow.
other recording of it.
So you kind of
It's
screwed
like,
him over, though?
I guess.
No, it's still a gem.
It's still a gem. I mean, yeah.
But it could
Elton John made the money out of it because he was like, yeah, license it out, and then a couple months later, I'm going to put out the song that I wrote, and it's going to be much bigger and
Right.
more famous then.
I would like to hear the Toto version.
It's on a record. It's definitely on one of their records, and it might not be Toto. It might be another band. I can't remember. I think it may be Three Dog Night.
Start.
Was it Three Dog? I can never get Three Dog. I get Three Dog Night and Toto confused all the
I
time.
feel like they're not very close.
How is that possible?
I don't know, just how they're locked in my mind. I know Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog is very different from Africa.
You have
I
a
get it.
you
I
have a
understand
what do
that.
you call it? You have a record store section in your head.
Yeah, but it's my brain is also the fucking idiot that puts the artists in the different spots. So sometimes my shit gets confused.
Oh, you'll put
You know,
Lou Reed
you put
Lou Reed next to the Velvet Underground as opposed to alphabetically.
No. Meaning like I'll put Lou Reed in the Carly Simon catalog, and I just get fucked up.
You just put it
just
back
the
wherever.
origin- Yeah, I
Just
just
keep
put it
going.
back wherever I'm at in my brain. I don't do that in real record stores because I've got class.
Oh, is that what you had? I thought it was Gerd.
Gert.
No,
It was
God,
Gerd.
Jesus, guys, come on.
Well, let's start this since we haven't really started it. Welcome to the Danny and Mike one shot. To my right, Mr. Danny Tamborelli,
Hola.
and to his right, Mr. Michael C. Morona.
See me after class.
I am producer Jeremy. We are a Feral Audio podcast, and we're very happy to be part of them. Well, that sounded weird. If you are so
We are a
inclined,
part of them.
check out. Yeah, it just sounded weird coming out of my mouth.
We're an integral part. We're not like the appendix or anything.
Right? If you are so inclined, go to their website, feralaudio.com, and donate a little money through their Amazon portal. Buy something on Amazon, or you can just donate. It would help us out, and it would be money going straight to the artists who make this art.
That's special, man. It
Yeah.
really is.
I always forget to do that, so I'm going to, you got to pay the bills,
gotta keep the electricity going in the apartment.
What's the name of your deer?
It's Lucky.
Lucky.
Yeah.
You got to keep Lucky's eyes lit up.
That's right.
For,
You got
for the whole summer.
Oh man, that would be cool if I could.
I think.
You could what?
I think it can help.
Stop
Jeremy.
That'd be
drill
too
out
creepy.
the deer's eyes and put light bulbs in it.
Well, not specifically. But I would leave the eyes and try to get behind them, and then put the light behind them.
Oh,
Mike knows
saying,
this.
You're saying you're trying to penetrate into the psyche of a previously alive deer.
Right.
Because when you try to get behind somebody's eyes, you're talking about their mind.
Bad things happen when you do that, man.
Exactly,
did
dude.
you,
You don't
did
want-
you ever see
that Twilight Zone. That
the
Twilight
Island of
Zone
Dr.
episode.
Moreau?
I got it. I have, but I got it. What I want to do
I don't know where I was going with
is I want to get those mini 8-ball things that you shake, and then so I can just go up to Lucky and shake him and say, "Hey, How's my day going to be?
I don't think that
I don't recommend doing
I don't
that.
think putting cocaine under the nose of a dead deer head is going to necessarily animate him and light up the ice. But you could always try it. You could always try it, and I don't doubt that you will.
Oh, no, a magic 8-ball, not an 8-ball of cocaine, Michael.
Oh, wow. Your
Yikes,
mind was...
you went
Signs
somewhere
point to
else.
yes.
Yeah, signs point.
Exactly. Oh, boy.
You could have like a Flava Flav style chain around him with it, so you don't even really have to shake the whole head, because then you could probably knock him off the wall.
Or just put a little tongue. You just pull the tongue and it shakes the balls.
No,
His
I like
eyeballs go back in his head.
I like a big chain on Lucky.
We should make that happen. We're going to kickstart that. Lucky chain.
See, you didn't put a coaster down, and now look at the table.
I didn't mean it, man.
Oh, boy.
Seltzer King's over here.
Seltzer Kings, that's our cumbia band. we do a klezmer cumbia.
I'm just putting mine on the rug because I've lost
Because the rug is the best kind of coaster.
the ability to care. Well, it's seltzer all around today. It's Happy Father's Day.
Pomegranate for me.
Raspberry for me.
You know, I switched up. You guys didn't see it. I had a watermelon chilling in the fridge, so I wanted the super cold. So I switched out the cherry for the watermelon because, you know.
For the listener, Jeremy's an asshole because I come bearing gifts and he doesn't want my gifts.
I think that's permissible.
I just wanted a cold version of your gift.
I think it's pretty cold.
This is actually reminds
Spanish
me-
market down there. It's like 50 degrees when you walk in there. My nipples were ice cold immediately. Just cutting glass walking through there. People were staring at me.
People were not staring at you.
Yeah, they were. They were staring at me. They were like, "Holy crap, that guy's nipples are just out and about."
Holy crap, that guy can walk around.
What is that? Was that a fat joke?
No, you can't. I don't think you can do those anymore. You're
No,
not
you're
fat
just
anymore.
sweating toxins.
Perhaps.
How else are you going to get him
24 pounds.
What?
Knocked off another 3 pounds in the last week and a
It's a
half.
total of 24. Nice work.
Total of 24.
Everybody out there in the podcast land, go ahead and give a big round of applause for Daniel. And then if you could,
Man,
right
thank you
afterwards,
so much.
sing the song Daniel by Toto.
Did you find out if it was Toto at 3 Dog Night or if I'm just bullshitting everybody?
I think you're bullshitting everybody because I looked both and... well, that's if the song is called Daniel. I just presumed it was.
I have a brother Daniel as well.
You do?
I do.
Who's older than you?
No, I'm the oldest.
Oh. Well,
At least
bad.
you played a type, you know.
I just wanted to continue with the song, but we should move on.
Boobon?
Bubon.
Ick.
Bubonic plague.
Yeah. Well, it's a Father's Day weekend, right?
Yes, it is.
And,
It's the last day of Father's Day weekend. It's actually Father's
It's
Day.
actually Father's Day.
The 3-day Father's Day festival culminating in the all-night bonfire and
Right.
ritual sacrifice of fathers that often accompanies these type of pagan festivals.
A lot of playing catch. A lot of
With the
grilling.
heads of fathers. A lot
with
of
the heads of fathers past.
a lot of grilling of father flanks. There's often a toasting of father flanks on each side, and then it's ritually,
How do you like your father flanks?
ritually rare. It's the ritually basted with the blood of fathers past.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's
a pretty
slowly
great
turned.
holiday.
It's slowly turned on the rack on the Saturday till one hears the screams. They call it Screaming Saturday because overnight all they select fathers that previously failed out of American Ninja Warrior and the Tough Mudder, and these have proven to be the most sinewy and delicious fathers.
This is beautiful.
I feel like this is something you had cooked up for a
TV
while.
show.
Yeah. I would watch that over American Ninja Warrior, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
It sounds like a Burning Man with fathers, right? Burning fathers.
I wish they just hadn't dubbed
Oh, that's what the Sunday's called, Burning Father Sunday.
Burning Father Sunday.
We don't. I don't subscribe to the U2.
You didn't have a choice. They put it on
Sorry.
your phone anyway.
I know that really pissed
to
me
go?
off.
Jokes,
Yeah, because it also took me a
jokes
while
from
to get
years
rid of
ago.
it.
Dad jokes from years ago. Dad jokes.
Good. You want a good dad joke from years ago?
No, I'm saying that's my U2 joke was.
Oh, right. You guys heard from this new band? It's on my... I don't know how it even got on here.
Anyway, where is the remote to the air conditioner?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it's getting hot in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're starting to speckle up. You're not crystallized. Exactly.
Hey man, I walked like 7 miles yesterday running around Brooklyn, and I didn't really break out in a
Would you
sweat
go
at
into
all.
Would you go into Costco and keep making rights?
No. My girlfriend's brother and sister-in-law were in town, so we went to the Brooklyn Museum.
Oh, very cool. You did the steps a couple of times.
Just ran up and down the steps a bunch. I'll meet you guys in there. No, I haven't hit my quota yet.
Holding up his wrist. My step counter is prime.
I double back every time we go into a different.
Yeah,
it was like, no, I gotta go back through one more time.
You know what? That's useful. That's useful for assimilating art into your mind anyway.
Yeah, taking it twice.
Taking it twice. That's cool. You guys hit the Brooklyn Museum.
Yeah, it was actually pretty awesome. I've never been there. All the years I've lived here, I never went inside the Brooklyn Museum.
Have you met her parents? You met her dad?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But they weren't there. It was just her brother and sister-in-law.
Okay, and then they will go back to the toasting of his body today.
Yeah, they went back specifically to Pennsylvania today for the toasting. I will be toasting in about an hour or so. I have to go back. It's gonna be hard, you know. I didn't really want to have my father flanked, but
but you got around him way too quick.
You know?
You got around him way too quick with the first step.
Oh man,
did you guys play basketball in the driveway or something?
No, we were all about playing catch.
Yes, I played catch with my dad as well. That was
a lot of baseball catch.
That was definitely
in the backyard.
Yeah, that was definitely. I mean, we played on the street. We didn't have much of a backyard. We played out in the street in front. But
that's good. You learned a little bit. It was easier for you to learn location. A smaller area to work with without, hitting cars and stuff. I could just wail.
Oh no, we still hit cars. No, we still hit cars.
Good.
I don't remember ever really getting in trouble as bad as my car got smashed. My car rear windshield got smashed in very recently, as I cried about recently.
Oh, that's right.
Than that.
Was that your comeuppance from years and years ago of denting and knocking around other cars?
If you can say that karma is stored up in certain categories and only recycles in certain categories.
I think so.
No, I think we played a lot of Nerf. No, we didn't play too much Nerf football. I was just remembering how we would stuff newspapers in the wiffle ball bats and and wrap the balls, wrap the shit in tape and
make them go further.
Yes, but I definitely played catch with my dad. I had, being a lefty, I had an Ozzie Smith glove when I was younger, even though he was the hated Cardinals and right-handed. Oh, you had a Lee Mazzillion one. You could do that. An ethnic, hero, little hometown hero.
No, unfortunately, Bucky Dent was the hometown hero. Bucky Dent was from Wyckoff, New Jersey.
His kid also had a shot. Also played with the Mets.
Who did?
Lee Mazzilli's kid.
Did he?
Yeah, he's in the organization.
Oh.
Maybe he left. Maybe he left very recently.
Didn't know. And news to me.
Yeah, I definitely made that Ozzie Smith glove work for a long time. I don't think I got another one for many years.
My dad tried to get me to be a pitcher, and my mom, on my mom's side, she had like a great uncle who was like a pitcher for the Cardinals. He was a left-handed pitcher. So
nice.
So my dad knew that information and tried to use it to be like, oh, it could be in the blood, huh? Like pushing me to be a
leverage,
pitcher.
Right?
Oh boy, no location, not at all.
Tambolo Cologne.
Could not. Oh,
Pomodoro Cologne.
Yeah, you just call me Sid Fernandez. That's I'd rather be like that big guy.
Sure.
Be perfect. Would have been great. Would have been an amazing left-handed pitcher if I had learned how to pitch. Could have been great.
Jeremy, he's sweating.
You're left-handed.
He's sweating more, Jeremy.
Okay.
Get the paper towel.
It is sweating in here. It's fucking hot in here.
No, it's not at all.
I don't think it is at all.
It's completely. It's just the subject matter.
It's bringing up bad memories.
Not baseball.
I mean, we got to get it all out.
God,
They make me pitch in the basement 24 hours a day. I never saw sunlight. Paul wouldn't do that. He's a nice father.
Paul's a good man.
Yeah.
Paul had a sweet Father's Day a few years ago. We went to go see Jerry Jeff Walker. Do you know who Jerry Jeff Walker is? Anybody?
No.
Yeah, you do. He was in a band called Circus Maximus, and then he was also a solo guy. He was kind of country in that Merle Haggerty sort of outlaw country thing. Basically, we went to BB King's in New York and had a very long drunken whiskey sing-along for 3 hours, and it was one of the most fun nights I've ever had with my dad, just like singing, like straight up, just like going to town on these like drunken
Those highwaymen.
Oh man, no, it's just like so much stuff. I know I'm just reliving it in my mind right now, and then I'll get back to you in a second. It's just
Well, in the meantime, I'll get you a paper towel.
Yeah.
come on, it's not that bad.
Well, that's kind of awesome. BB
Yeah.
King sing along.
BB King sing along. It's really it's worth it. It's definitely worth it to sing along at BB King's drunk on whiskey with your father. It was like, and my mom doesn't go. It was just the dudes because she hates that stuff. She hates that music so much. I try to put it on like once in a while, and she'll hear it immediately within like 3 notes. She's way better than the game I play in my car with Billy Joel coming on, where he'll get me for a second. My mom never gets. She never lets it go. She hears like 2 notes. She's like, "Turn that damn Jerry Jeff off."
Really?
Really hates it.
Oh.
Really hates. She hates all of it. Like I'll put on Johnny
What?
Paycheck to like
Really?
Just to,
oh, she
just
hates
to
it all.
screw with
She
her.
hates all the old country. It's like nails on a chalkboard to her. Just like the twanginess just drives
What is
her.
she?
up
What is she
insane.
like?
She's like Motown and soul and.
I thought you were
that
going to say
kind of
Mozart.
stuff. No, she didn't.
The girl groups.
No, I never. My parents never.
That stuff's
They
great.
never gave me any of that classical stuff.
No classical
I had
training.
to find that on my own.
Yeah.
I had to find it on my own on records I found in the street.
Yeah, always the free records.
Yeah, I finally consolidated everything, and I still got a box to go if you want to dig through.
Of records?
Yeah.
You're not keeping records? I keep them. I can't get rid of them.
See, that's the same way
What,
I'm
your
with
permanent
comic books.
records?
No, well, I don't know where my permanent record is, but I would love to see it, to see exactly what my vice principal in high school really put in there versus what he said went in there. Because they're all lying. Where's your permanent record? Have you seen it? Have you seen your permanent record, any of you? No,
Is
'cause
that-
it's a bullshit thing.
What is? Yeah. What? I mean, is that the final report card thing? What is your permanent record? I don't have any idea.
I don't know. You never had
It's
that?
what
You never
it's
got
what
that
they
before?
read before you get your big spanking in the sky. They read it out loud to you, and you are confronted by fathers past, future, and present.
God, Mr. Herman and Mr.
It's
Van
no,
Hoff
it's like
have,
Superman
wrote a
2.
book
It's like
on
Superman
me.
2. He's like guilty, 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 guilty. That shit is out of control.
Oh man,
I definitely formed a lot of ideas about my father from Superman 2
you did
and 3
Wait.
and 3. Which one does he go bad in?
3, right?
Come on, Jeremy. Jeremy,
I don't know. I
you're
can fact
here.
check.
Come on, Jeremy.
Fact
you're here.
checker. And now for another edition of Fact Checker with Jeremy.
Bad Dad Superman 3.
That's it. Does it come up?
No, that's Richard Pryor.
So it's 2 then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Sorry.
I don't know.
It's been a while. I haven't
Mystery
watched.
solved.
Haven't watched them in a while.
Brad is like, terrible. Where does Lana Lang get her kid from?
Lois Lane?
Lana Lang.
Oh, I thought you said. Like, wait a minute.
What is the matter with you?
Wake up, Jeremy.
Something wrong with your headphones? Did you turn your headphones all the way down when you blew yourself out earlier?
Oh, my headphones up.
Turn me down.
Turn me down.
Turn
Yeah,
me
that's
down.
what I was saying.
All right, that was my first.
Full wipe.
Full wipe.
Dude, you have a bead forming on your lower right quadrant now.
You got to save something
Guys,
for the second wipe.
Gotta say something for the second
You
one.
can't-
And you can drop 24 pounds and you can still.
Cut
Be
water.
sweaty,
you can still
man.
cut water
You
weight
can
to fight Conor McGregor on Vegas.
That's a fight I would watch.
Oh man, I would.
Bow. He hits the wall.
They'd still be waiting for me to come out because I'd be too chicken shit to even walk out.
What if they played that music?
I mean, it would get me it would get me hyped, but it wouldn't. It would. There'd be nothing to get my leg paralysis to
I feel
subside.
like, in The Walking Dead, sometimes they'll cover themselves in the zombie blood and guts, and then they can walk amongst them. I mean, I feel like that same angle could be taken for Conor McGregor. You could just cover yourself in something that he hates. Feces, urine, a combination.
I don't know. I don't know what he hates.
I'm
He's
just saying,
Irish.
like,
He probably
you gotta-
hates the English.
If you're going to beat this guy, you got to think outside the box.
I'll wear a bunch of royal family members.
Yeah, I don't.
What are you going to wear yourself a William? What are you talking about?
Oh, maybe it's, the blood of royalty.
Yeah, I don't know. Prince Harry. Maybe we could, pass.
No,
his brothers.
He's the bachelor. William is the father. You have to drink the blood of the first purest father. You gain the most power for the weekend. You become invulnerable.
This episode has gone pagan so quickly.
It's in multiple times, though. First it was about roasting dads.
And now it's about roasting the royal
Conor
family.
McGregor.
No, it's just
For defeating Conor.
you have to cut off his head, right? That's the only way to beat. Oh, that's how you beat the McLeods. Jeremy, are you all right?
Yeah, I've never sneezed on a podcast before. It's new territory where...
You've been quiet. I know I tried to dig something out of you about your dad last time we talked.
Yeah, and I have a lot of great memories. The funny thing is, like, a lot of the things I remember are like not so funny times where it's like we have a ball stuck in the tree and he's like, oh, I'll grab it, and he grabs this. I don't even know what it was. It was like a volleyball stake or something, and he throws it into the tree to try to get the ball out, and it comes down and hits him.
It hits you
an inch from his eye. Instant hospital visit. He's in the hospital for a while. Like,
That's so Ohio, though.
and he almost lost his eye because he was trying to get this stupid
He was
ball
trying
out
to
of the
impress
tree.
you.
Yeah,
He was trying to impress you.
it worked. It was very impressive. It
He
a
was my
hospital visit.
fucking hero.
My dad could take a stake to the eye, go to the hospital, and come back the next day.
This
Yeah.
is
What
the
about your
type
dad?
of this is the type of unwitting self-violence that fathers practice, and they as youths participated in all of the Father's Day roasting events, and yet are not aware of their own role in the macabre dance that comes in spring each year.
My dad was a big softball guy. Did you get your dad's play softball?
Yeah. My dad, for 20 years with his friends, had this thing called the beer softball league.
Yeah.
Do you know about this? Do you know about beer softball?
I mean, that's what they did. They drank Busch Light. And
Yeah,
they
yeah,
played
but
softball.
there's a whole thing to it. So there are
You guys played
coolers-
softball?
There are coolers on each base with little like.
This is like specifically beer themed.
Yeah. This is like like you go to the doctor's office and you get the little small solo cups or whatever. They're like 2 ounces or something.
Dentist's office?
Whatever, either one.
The dentist's
I
office?
I think I piss into those in the doctor's office.
I think we're semantics. Keep going.
Either way,
Those cups tasted
those
funny.
either way, those cups
That was
tasted
beer.
funny. So they'd have coolers on each base, and they'd have these little solo cups set up. So if you hit a single, you'd have to run to first base, and you'd toss one back, and if you weren't finished drinking it before the ball came to first
were
base,
out.
you were out. And if it was a second, you had to drink 1 on first base, 2 on second base.
Ooh.
Triple, 1, 2, 3.
So
And if it was a home run, if you get all the way to the end, you have to do the 1, 2, and 3, and then you get to home plate, and the guy
everybody would
throws
dump-
you.
would
No, the
dump
guy
them on you.
throws you a can of beer, and you got to chug that can of beer before the ball comes back.
And then you got to make
they
out
would-
with one of the
and they would-
competitors' wives.
And they would play double headers. And I went from the time I was like 3 years old till I was like
Double
12 or
headers?
13. They would do 2 games.
So
So all like the
do you have
the
a liver
women
problem?
and
Do you have a
stuff-
liver problem?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
I'm sure.
I guess you're doing the cleanse. You should.
I
make
wasn't.
this
I wasn't partaking in the alcohol at 12, but I remember very
But
clearly.
13.
But I just remember very clearly like the end of those nights where they would like all go to this bar, the Old Judge, which is like this. It's like this. I know, dude. It was like it's crazy. Think about how much everyone was drinking and driving and not like even realizing it. But my mom would drive to the Old Judge, because my dad would be fucking drunk.
Slobbering.
They're all just so wasted. It was just. You watch the second game and you're almost like, oh my God, like you just pulled your shoulder out swinging for the fences and all these things.
Well, that's the thing. Is like,
well, the doubleheader too. The kids who were like old enough, like we would get to like sub in. Like,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
a little too drunk. Like,
Wow.
and we get to play a little bit with them.
You get to run for them, right?
But they would they would go to the old judge and hang out, and then my parents, my mom would take me home, and then my dad would go out with them again, and they would like go into the city, and like it was just like a whole fucking
Wow.
drinking craziness. And they did this for 20 years. They had like shirts and like hats made up. Like I have all these like beer softball league, everything.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Easy.
I really wanted
Easy.
to get that together, but I couldn't find 18 friends that wanted to play softball and get drunk.
Well, that's the thing too. There's some skill. Like the better you are at softball, the more drunk you're gonna get. Like if
Yeah,
you're not great
exactly.
at softball, you're gonna have a buzz. You might
Yeah.
get drunk, but like if you're a if you're a big hitter, then good lord,
Right?
oh, you almost want to fake it and just bunt all the time.
Now, if you bunted, you have to drink 2 beers.
Oh well, yeah, that's a good rule.
They can't. There's no getting
Wow.
around. There's no getting around it.
My dad played for Farrell's.
Oh, nice.
really?
We've
Yeah.
talked about that. Yeah, Farrell's before.
They did football and softball, but he did. I think he maybe also did some baseball back in the day, growing up on 9th Avenue, right there.
Did they were they the drinking types when they were playing? Because I mean that's what
can't-
I know
can't
Farrell's
d-
for. Is the
I
foam
can't doubt
cups.
it. Yeah, I can't. But
Yeah.
what I had when I went to Farrell's was the little Coca-Colas.
Oh right, the bottles.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the little like
The little
6
glass,
ounces.
yeah.
What are they?
Yeah, they had plastic lids and then the glass bottles, right? The little chubby ones.
Chubby ones.
Oh, maybe it was different in
I
Ohio.
didn't body shame, anybody at that age.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
weren't.
body
But
shame
you weren't body
Pepsi
shaming.
bottles.
You weren't.
No, but
you
there's-
weren't learning how to make fat jokes on Coca-Cola bottles.
I learned it from Pepsi.
I learned
chubby
it,
Pepsi
I
bottles.
learned it from looking at you.
Pepsi bottle. But there was
well,
the
I
little
would
small
say-
chubby ones.
I
and then
would
there was
say-
the regular like Mexican Coke ones.
I would say, speaking of Mexican Coke, I would say that I got my proclivity for drug addiction from my dad. Dan has shared 2 alcohol, what do you call it, anecdotes in a row, which I think is telling. And Jeremy,
What
you
was the
obviously
second one?
beer league, dude, just for 20 fucking years,
Yeah, but
dude.
what was before that?
With the whiskey with your dad for
Yeah, but
Father's
that's-
Day.
Oh, well, we can continue that with what happened last week. If
Jared-
you like, you want me to
And
end
if
it
I
on
could
that little...
if I could fucking finish the joke, Jeremy showed his, what do you call it, his penchant. He learned his penchant for unnecessary cranial surgery from his dad,
Oh,
who
there
threw
you
a
go.
fucking stake up in the air and spiked
Wow.
himself in the head.
That's
I
pretty-
think
oh.
that's you're reaching in that last one.
I know, but I had a big fat guy step all over the middle of my joke.
ruined your
Sorry,
bit.
it was more of an observation and less of a joke. It's just
Anytime
being real about
you
it.
you mention 2 things about Dan's dad, he always what what? No, what? Trying to make a point.
If you could just let me.
Don't mix beer and whiskey when you're talking about Dan's dad.
No. Well, speaking of beer and whiskey, last weekend.
Oh right, yeah. Let's complete the set so
Just
we can
complete
call
it,
it
so
so
we
we
can-
can call it a syndrome.
Let's diagnose you right here.
Well, when we did this, the last one shot I came in, I wasn't feeling too good because I was a little hungover. But that night proved to be problematic on a couple levels because my girlfriend was out of town and she wanted me to go home to her parents' house to hang out with her family.
Oh, to
And it was like
Pennsylvania?
the only weekend that I've had nothing to do, and I just didn't want to do it. And I was going back the following weekend because she had some book stuff to do. Like Barnes and Noble had like this like
Way out there.
It was not that far in Allentown, but still, it's like I was making that trek already. The following week, I wasn't going to do it again. So I said I was going to do some work, and I did some work, and then I went to the bar by myself, and I tied one on, and I made the dumb move of telling the bartender who was there that my girlfriend was out of town and I was going on a bit of a bender. And just like that. And that's fine. I stayed there for a while, and like, she's a good bartender, and like I go to this bar all the time. And so the next day when she comes back, or on the Monday, we went for like a happy hour drink there, and that same bartender was there. And the first thing she says was, "How was your bender? How was the rest of your bender?" Right in front of my girlfriend, and she's like, "What is she talking about?" It's like, "What are you?"
You were out of town.
And I was like, "Yeah," but then she knew what I was doing on Saturday, and like
Work-
I
you were
didn't-
working.
I was working. I didn't
You were
tell her I
working.
was going out and getting drunk.
Well, you
and
worked for a
so-
long time.
No, I did. So I mean, the whole thing was I learned a valuable lesson in omission, which at 34 I probably should have learned, but it was a hot button issue. She really wanted me to go home that weekend to see her family, and I really did not, and it like caused issues throughout the week. So I thought it was best to keep that silent. And when the bartender said that,
Yeah.
then she got all weird, and then then she tried to cover it up. She was like, "Oh no, it's just a thing we had, it's just a joke or whatever." And then she pieced out, and then I'm
Get
just
the fuck outta
sitting here
there.
at the bar with Kate and being like, "Oh no." So she got very upset with me for lying, which I didn't lie. I just didn't let her know the whole truth.
Okay. We're
And-
definitely justifying some
Yeah.
omissions.
Right. Well, sometimes I think omissions are justified like that. Like that was it caused a lot of issues. Like there was no reason for her to, I mean, what did it matter that
Some
got drunk and
some
walked home.
emissions are justified. Not all omissions. Another beat of sweat rolls down Dan's temple.
well, I just needed to get that off my chest.
I
Thanks for listening, guys.
yeah. It's
Really,
hard.
the
to,
moral of the story is don't,
Do you remember what you
just don't
drank?
tell I was drinking whiskey. I was drinking a lot of whiskey.
You were trying to recapture that spirit of Father's Days
I was.
past.
I was.
When you would roast the flanks yourself and pull them from the roasting stick.
Ye bring the roasting stick.
Bring the
Up against
roasting
the wall,
stick.
You redneck mother.
Turn that music on. Turn that Lester Larry flat off.
He's 34 and drinking in a honky tonk.
Doesn't know the difference between lying and omission.
Just kicking hippies' asses and raising hell. Yeah, that's Jerry Jeff Walker right there. In case anybody.
It's funny, like you turned me on to him, and I have no idea. Like I was a big highwayman, all those sort of what are they called, outlaw country.
Yeah.
But I never heard of that dude. It's crazy when you add another one to your. But he had some crazy.
He wrote
had some
Mr.
crazy
Bojangles,
words.
man.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't. He wasn't on the top of the list. What can I say?
He wasn't in
shame.
he wasn't in your queue.
It's a shame. Did you like the music that was played on Saturday though, right?
Oh yeah. Went to a little show of what was, I don't even know what it was, a birthday party?
Yeah, it was the editor for Relics magazine.
Happy birthday. Happy belated.
Yeah, Mike Greenhouse's birthday. We should have him on the show. He's a vast knowledge.
He's a repository, is what you're saying.
He's got a lot of information in there about music and stuff, and he always has a lot of friends. And so, like, we're all musicians, so we just decided to all play music. And
Let's
so,
do
like,
a black
Joe Russo
t-shirt.
was there.
Let's do a black t-shirt, rock and roll.
and one of the bass
stoop
players
sale.
from Vampire Weekend. And yeah, we'll get us. Do you have a Black Vampire Weekend T-shirt that
No.
you could sell at the stoop sale?
No, we could have them spit on one though, and that with the DNA, that would be
Oh, I got a lot. It was.
spit and
if
sweat.
I think it's sweaty in here, it was much sweatier on Saturday at this event.
So these are probably all DNA signed T-shirts worth far more.
That's a new thing. DNA signed T-shirt.
You
Yes.
want my signature, or do you want my DNA signature?
Stage signed.
Actually,
T-shirts.
I just looked that up.
That started with the soccer players giving each other their jerseys.
Yes.
Those are like straight up DNA.
Oh, you
signatures.
don't know, but there's a sequel to the Boys from Brazil, where they just make little Pelés. They look like the mini cells that come out of Cell in the Perfect Cell saga. Whoa!
That's too deep track for me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Too deep.
I mean, I know, soccer reference, but
You don't know who Pelé is?
no, I do. I'm saying I do know that part. I didn't know the What was the other thing you said?
The Boys from Brazil,
Yeah, I don't. No, after that. No, never mind.
Perfect Cell,
There you go.
the DBZ.
I don't know that.
I don't know it either,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah, you thought like Mario and Luigi were Dragon Ball Z.
Mario.
Mario, you thought Mario was Dragon Ball Z, and yeah, in that I would say we have to see our fathers as either a Mario or a Luigi in our lives, and depending upon how we see them. I think I saw my father as a Mario for a while, but then he became kind of a Luigi.
My dad's been a Mario for sure.
Yeah.
He's never been a thin man either. So like just the fact that, he's a bigger guy, direct association is Mario.
And Jeremy?
I'd say Mario, not Mario.
Fuck are
But
you
I think
from?
you're right. I think there's a little touch of Luigi. I think it's a touch of Luigi. It's a teetering
Oh my
it's a teetering Mario Luigi scale.
Mario most of the time, and when he apologizes, he's Luigi.
I feel like when he's throwing sticks in the air and trying to get a ball out of the trees, he's a touch of Luigi.
Luigi.
He's peak Luigi.
One time I said "fuck you" to my mother when I was 17 years old,
What
and
is
my
the
dad.
matter
I
with
was
you?
a 17-year-old, angry. Something happened. I don't know what. It was the only time I've ever said it, and my dad was in the room, and he got so angry he chased me around the house, and I ran up into my room, and I closed the door, and my dad's trying to get into the room, and I'm trying to move my dresser so he can't get into the room, so he can't get in.
The door real quick.
And like I'm just starting to move it, and all of a sudden, and I'm holding the door like this, and I'm like trying to push. My dad's fist comes through the door. I shit you not, like right through, and I'm like, oh no! Bam! We're running around my room. I'm like jumping over my fucking bed, and he's trying to grab me to whack me good or whatever. And I'll never forget it. He stopped me, and I was just like, I'm sorry. Like, it was just like,
He cornered me, and I immediately folded.
Yeah, but the worst part about that story was I didn't get hit, but his hand was fucked up, and like for like 3 weeks, like he was just like, you did this, like you made me do this, you made me do this, and I was like, I'm a Luigi, I'm sorry.
Oh man!
I feel like he missed an obvious shining moment too, where he could have.
Oh yeah, here's Johnny. No, he was too
In the moment,
he was too fucking pissed. You imagine your father putting a hole through your door because you said "fuck you" to his wife.
I'd like to see.
Oh boy.
I guess I've never thought about it in that respect.
Yeah.
It is his wife by
by rights.
Not even just my mom; it's his wife. So that was the wife switch that turned. It wasn't the. That's my son's mother.
I guess I didn't think about that a lot. Like now, you just saying that, it's like, man, that was actually his wife. That's not just my mom.
My wife.
This is
a good point.
This is what's good about The Simpsons is that they keep Bart trapped as a teenager in like a kid's body, but he never grows up to the point where he says "fuck you" to his mom.
Yeah, it's a good lesson to be learned, kids out there. Don't say "fuck you" to your mom.
Also, don't choke your kids.
Yeah.
That's what I see your dad as so far.
Oh no, I never got
the
choked.
No, I'm saying like the two alcohol anecdotes and the chasing you around the bed to
Man,
whoop
you
you
make it
is like
seem-
Homer Simpson. Homer Simpson for sure.
Well, he loves The Simpsons, that's for sure.
Awesome.
No, my dad's preferred method of pain was follicle twist.
Oh yeah.
My dad would grab the side of my hair, like right above my temple, and just twist, and I would like go limp. I'd be like, "Oh God, what do you want? I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry." Just even if I didn't know what I did, I'd just start apologizing immediately. I'd be like, "Oh fuck." Yeah, he was real good at that.
Jeremy, your dad would jam his thumb into your eye socket.
He was.
I did this for you.
You like it?
He was looking for a ball, but
like
never.
Oh man!
No, our thing was the ear. Well, that was my mom. My dad didn't really, but my mom would grab our ears, grab us by the ear, and get out. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
or
we
get
got
the wooden
the ear.
spoon.
We
you
got
know,
the ear.
just smack us with a wooden spoon.
Yes, I got the cutting board from my dad. The wooden cutting board.
The wooden cutting board.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man,
Mr.
that's a lot of surface area.
Mr. Paddle, exactly.
It was. If it was a cheese board, it was fine.
No, it didn't have holes in it. It was a complete surf. It was.
I think if it had holes, it would probably be worse because it could go
That's
faster. You get it's like
You'd think
it's more aerodynamic.
I think we're gonna have to.
You'd
do
think
our
so. We got to
lab
compare.
tests.
We got to compare notes with kids who grew up in Europe, right? Because they would have gotten spanked with the more sophisticated cutting boards. But yeah, I think that was his. I think that was his ace. His ace card was the Mr. Paddle.
Got threatened with a belt. Never got hit with one. That was.
I feel like I did get beat with a belt once, but I can't remember.
It must have been around the head, right?
Yeah. No, the head was off limits.
Oh, that's great. How great is that? Oh my God, Jeremy. Why are you not better at sports?
At life?
Because nobody could.
My mom used to pinch my elbow. She wouldn't touch my ear. She wouldn't touch my head.
No, Jeremy, like, how are you? You just didn't play sports. You can be like, oh, you can't hack me in the head. I have a brain tumor.
I would wear 2 helmets just in case. No, I think my dad. There was just whippings. You just get whooped. You know what I mean?
In
Hand to
Ohio, you
butt.
got whooped. In Ohio, you got whooped. In New York, you got beaten or spanked.
Yeah, I got
Right.
spanked.
Yeah,
And beat.
I guess it's called spanked there too, but we would call it whooped. You're gonna get a whooping.
Okay,
That's
you
what it
blew me.
was.
You just blew
I
me
just
out
blew you out
again.
again.
Yeah, you just gave my ears a whooping.
Yeah.
That as ritually happens on the Saturday morning of each Father's Day weekend. The ears are roundly whooped with a mixture of tamarind, molasses, and apple cider vinegar, which proves to be a most bloody glaze come sunset.
You're
on
being a bit
Sunday.
of a Luigi right now.
You were loving it. It doesn't matter whether you can love the Mario and love the Luigi. That's the point, really. Is just love your dads. They're
That's
not.
right.
They're not perfect people.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, I say this as a impending dad, not an actual dad. And my last Father's Day of freedom from fatherhood, and just love your dads because they're humans just like you.
You just want to be loved.
Me?
Yeah.
I think all humans. I mean,
Yeah.
we have some people who have determined for a degree to themselves whether they're loners, whether they like solitude, or whether they feel lonely. That's something only you can decide in your own head. But yeah, I was raised in a big family to love and to be loved, so that's out there.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's very fair.
Yeah, feel free to contact us about your Father's Day. Any good Father's Day anecdotes, like Homer Simpson indicators, as we call them, HSIs, with Danny and Paul. With Danny and Paul, I think you have like a checklist, and if you get more than 25 points, your dad is Homer Simpson.
We're gonna talk to BuzzFeed about making a list for us.
How about good stories? How about something
give
that
us
your
some-
dad?
Oh yeah.
Good things that your dad has taught you, or has been passed down from his dad to your dad.
Sure, my dad said the most important thing is the truth.
Okay,
That's a good one.
it's important.
It's I guess
Except when you want to omit some stuff.
You realize
well
you realize that it wasn't what you said to her that got you in trouble. It was what you
No, it was
didn't.
what I didn't
it was
say.
what you
Yeah.
didn't say,
Uh-huh.
and the truth was what was important.
Correct. I know. I learned a lesson.
Jeremy,
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's
obviously don't throw a volleyball stick directly up in the air. Obviously, you learned that from him.
Yeah. No, but I mean, there's tons of things. I had a really great, basically childhood up till my teen years. I think it was a great. I had great parents, and then parents got divorced. Things happen. Life happens, and I think people take a path. You know what I mean? I think my dad did that. He started drinking a lot and sort of relied on that. So I don't think it's something he said, but it's more of like something he did. He made this choice to make alcohol be a big part of his life, and I don't think I ever wanted. It just never clicked for me. I never wanted to do that. You know what I mean?
How do you hang out with Danny?
God,
Well-
you make it seem like I just because I'm telling some anecdotes.
No, I'm saying before the cleanse.
I mean, you're right. I was. I do.
No.
I mean, I'm not like a.
I bet I
You
can
know.
count on my hand the number of times that Danny has been to the point where I didn't want to be around him because he was so drunk.
Well, that's because drinking makes him more pleasant.
Oh,
Up
that's
to a
not
certain
true
point.
either.
Up to a certain point.
No, I
up to-
don't agree.
No, these are classic indicators.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
But
What about you?
Jeremy, did that
Oh, yeah.
did that feel? Actually, my dad and mom divorced, and then he got sober, so it was the
Oh, wow.
it was the
The
opposite.
opposite, yeah.
The opposite track. But I still we had a good relationship before, and afterwards was a little more difficult. I'm gonna definitely admit.
Yeah. The I don't know. I had something to say, and then I told you. You said something that took me off base.
I killed your baby today.
I killed your baby today. That's a great Father's Day song. Is Glenn Danzig a father?
I don't know.
I'm sure he is.
Somewhere.
We all
country.
we all remember his classic ode to the Father's Day murder weekend. Father, tell your children not to baste my ears. Tell your children not to roast my flanks.
Oh.
Braise me, Father.
Yeah. I want to hear the Smooth Club remix of that, because they did that of the Mother version, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Father, Father,
Oh, no, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that.
Did I ever tell the story of? I remember being a kid, probably like 7 or 8 years old, and my dad
7
would
or
go,
8 years ago.
Yeah, and my dad would go, hang out with his friends in town, sort of like yours did with the softball. I don't even know what they were doing, but I just remember him pulling up, and we had this old Impala, and I just like, no, I'm gonna stay in the car or whatever. I was in the car. He got out to talk to his friends. Somehow I put the car into neutral,
Nice.
and the car started rolling backwards. It was in an alley, so it had a pretty good ways it could go. And I just remember.
Did you say step on the brake or anything?
No, I mean, I don't think I was old enough to, know all the ins and outs of a car. But like I just remember one of his friends being like, "Let him roll. Tree will catch him."
How do you remember that? How do you remember that part?
There's
How
lots
do
of
you
weird-
remember that?
Oh, God.
Let him
Oh
roll.
my
Tree will
God!
catch him.
Like I can just see,
But
in the
of course,
shot, in the movie version of this, the camera's inside the car, so you just wipe him really quickly. You know what I mean? You've already gained enough speed that has to be like a cutaway to a static camera, not.
I do. I mean, I remember my dad having to like not run, but definitely have a brisk walk to jump in the car and put it back in park.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I pulled a dad move in where was I? Not Litchfield, Lunenburg.
Massachusetts?
Ghost hunting?
Yeah, right up against New Hampshire. I think it was Lunenburg. It was one of those towns. What's the big
off of Route 2?
Somerville? Is it one right?
Somerville's close to Boston.
No. Then I was completely wrong about that. It was over by Lunenburg. The MG drove 100 miles to Massachusetts, no problem, all one shot. Maybe gassed up in the middle,
But getting back.
but I parked it in Lunenburg to stop for pizza, and I couldn't start it after we got pizza. I couldn't start it back up. It drove fine all the way there. Couldn't start it back up after. So we pushed it down a hill
And that's it?
and started it up.
Oh,
in
the
second,
end. You got the
and it
engine
caught,
to go?
and it caught. And I tried once in the middle of the hill.
You jumped the clutch.
I
That's
tried
called jumping the clutch.
I popped the clutch.
Yeah, you popped it.
I tried once in the middle of the hill and it didn't catch, and I tried again near the bottom of the hill, and I was like, "This is it. I'm at the lowest point in the town.
It's got to go.
And it fucking caught, and that was my most dad. And it was in June, so maybe I had really come into my own dadness, because I remember, having to do stuff like that with the Datsun. Dads make us think of the old cars that they used to have back when we were kids.
My dad still has his first car, 71 Buick Centurion convertible.
Wow.
Well, you guys have a garage, so you're able to.
No, it sits outside. It's not in the garage.
What
at
is he
all.
doing
It
with
sits
this?
outside. I don't know.
What if
It's-
they
it's-
have those shows, those reality shows where they can.
No, we're not putting Pimp My Ride. No, it's
not
not
Pimp
like
My Ride. It's,
No, they scrape the dust off and they say, "Well,
My
give
brother watches these shows. They finds a victim. They find a contestant and they do it a surprise. So they make it seem like they've stolen the car. So your dad would seem like the car.
My dad would be so pumped that the car got stolen and be like, finally, because he can't bring himself to sell it or get rid of
Right.
it because it's his first car.
Yeah.
And the old town I used to live in Maywood, they used to have a parade every year.
Nice.
With like, you know, a 4th of July parade or Memorial Day
Right.
parade. And like they'd have like people in cars, and my dad would always, you know,
Get mistaken for
put the
Chris
car-
Christie.
Oh, he doesn't look
boy.
like Chris Christie. My father's not A, not that big, B, not a fucking asshole piece of shit, and C.
No, but riding in a
he's
car
older.
waving.
He's older than Chris Christie is, I bet.
Riding in a car waving.
I've
He
never
was
s-
definitely riding in a car waving. We've had like the Grand Poobah, you know, whatever that
the
is,
hat?
the
Really?
Grand Marshal or whatever.
Yeah.
He's sitting in the back of the.
Did you also have Brand Nubian?
No. Whoa! Once at one of those things, I sucked too much helium and passed out.
Homer Simpson indicators off the chart, sir. Homer Simpson indicators off the chart, sir. Request immediate intervention. Request immediate
Yeah,
intervention.
well, you know, my dad did it and had a high voice, and I thought that was funny. and
Alerting
so then I
child
started
services,
doing it,
alerting
and I kept
child
doing it,
services.
and then I did it, and I took too much of it in, and I passed out because I didn't have enough oxygen.
Where was your mom in all this?
Not happy.
Yeah.
Where she was is not happy.
Oh, that's
No.
great. That's
No,
That's a heck of a parade.
It's a heck of a parade. No, my pop
That doesn't-
taught me a lot about mechanical maintenance and making sure you keep your stuff together.
I wish I
and
had
keep
learned
it
that.
nice.
I wish I had learned that stuff.
And my grandfather taught him. This is a great little anecdote. I'm just trying to throw it in there. My grandfather did this to a really annoying neighbor that used to come over on Sundays. So I'm sure it happened at a Father's Day at some point.
Nice.
That would just come over and like hang out and indirectly invite themselves to dinner. And like my grandfather was getting kind of pissed about it. He was like, I just can't, like, this happens like every week. Like I'm buying food for 2 families. Like, well, this is nuts. What am I going to do?
Your grandfather had another family?
Well, he thought because these neighbors would come over. And
it was neighbors.
Yeah, I mean,
more
it was a
than one.
couple. I think
more
it was
than
it
one.
was a couple. If I remember correctly, the story is that it was a couple.
So
and-
he mechanically sabotaged them.
He sabotaged them good. It was amazing. This is great, and I learned this, and I haven't had to use it yet, but I will one day when the time is right. I will use.
I've
this.
never taken an upper decker because nobody
Not
invites me.
even-
Nobody invites me to a
It's
party who I would hate that
This
much.
is so much better than an upper decker, and so much more of a mind fuck to someone. So, so they come over for dinner, and they finish up, and my grandfather goes to the dog and has the dog lick the plates clean.
Yes.
And then he put them back in the
In
fucking
the cabinet.
And
In
they
the
never
cabinet.
came over again.
Nice.
That's a sweet dad move.
That is a sweet
That's
dad
a
move.
sweet
Wait.
fucking dad move.
Dad
You're
move.
basically getting in their heads as so they're not
he
only they
basically
not
thought
clean.
that like that
They thought
he
they'd been
watched- he
poisoning
watched-
them.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, and they never came over again. They must have had a bad rumor about my grandfather. Being like, oh, you know, Tamborellis are fucked up.
It was
man.
worth the years of social shame just to get these freeloaders
yeah,
off
just to
my
get him.
bill.
Yeah, exactly. So I learned from that you do whatever it takes.
That's right.
And you've applied that to your show business career.
Yeah, that's right. Lots of abuse.
Lots of dog plate licking.
Lots of dog plate licking, yeah. But yeah, that's a good one. It's a good.
That's a good
That's
one.
That's a good dad. Also, my grandfather ran over the family dog once on accident. And he felt real bad about it.
Killed it.
Did it survive?
Yeah. No, it did not survive.
Wow.
Subsequently, I also had 2 turtles, and I would bring them outside into the backyard. You remember the turtles from the show? I kept 2 of them,
Gary
and Clark.
oh, yeah.
I had Gary and Clark for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years after
Dude,
the
why
show.
is this not an animated series?
Gary and Clark? It should be.
Narrated by you.
Dude, here's the thing with these turtles, that they sat in my room, and like sometimes the turtles would smell because they got a little funky. So you bring them outside, and you clean the
Ass.
you clean the whole terrarium or whatever and get the water out and everything. And they like to be outside, but they were fast, and they would like to climb out. And so like I've like had caught them like climbing out and like on the back deck. And one time I guess I was away for too long, and one of them was gone. I didn't know which one it was. It was Gary or Clark, because they both look exactly the same.
It was Gary or Clark.
So I was super
Gary is-
bummed, and I was like looking all over for them or whatever. And then my dad said that he saw one of them go into the sewer looking for the water or something like that. And then in hindsight,
it turns out your grandpa ran over them.
It wasn't my grandpa; it was my dad. And he was like, he ran over and he felt real bad about it. And he's like, you didn't want to tell me what had happened, but then I realized probably what happened was he was in the driveway and he was facing like going back up. It was like he had like gotten out and was like, oh, okay, I've had enough. I want to go back now. So he was heading back to his home. My dad ran him over.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your dad.
I didn't run my father over, no. Is that what you mean?
No.
I guess the best case scenario for saying where a turtle goes
is into the sewer to look for water.
It's okay. He's in the sewer.
He
now.
went to the sewer.
It's like their best case scenario. It's their heaven.
What are you going to tell him? I mean, I guess, Dan, you did have bodies of water nearby.
Yeah, right down the street. I used to play ice hockey on the pond right down the street.
Yeah, so that's at least.
But that would have been a far walk for the
Trot,
turtle,
yeah.
and the turtle would have gotten scratched on the asphalt. You know, his
It's actually one of their
stuff.
favorite places to be scratched. You can see them smile when they get scratched on the asphalt. It's a rare turtle smile that one will enjoy in the turtle soup at the culmination of the Father's Day weekend pagan celebrations.
Poor Gary or Clark.
Do you still have the other one?
Brought back some bad memories.
You still have the other one?
No.
What if you remembered? You're like, oh crap, and then you're like, he's still in my closet.
He's still in the
and you just went in.
That
and was like,
happened.
He's
That
5
is-
feet
if
5
you
feet
can-
tall.
You can fact check that. That happened that like some turtle, like tortoise or something, was lost for like 15 years in someone's house, and they found him in a box, and he had just like survived off of moisture or something crazy like that.
It's
So
probably,
they are resilient animals.
family cleans house, finds pet tortoise missing since
see, that's why.
1982.
See, that's why, because it was a tortoise.
Right, not a turtle.
Because a tortoise is a
turtle
land.
needs to have water.
Yeah,
A
tortoise is a
does
land
not.
animal.
Correct.
And I should have known this, and I didn't. At the one time, I could have.
Could you imagine?
I blanked on it to a fact checker.
You just
Oh,
clean your
turtle
house up
tortoise?
and you open
Yeah,
the box.
I
You're like,
remember that.
oh, Gary, I'm sorry.
Oh, you
man."
remember all my failures.
no, I wasn't a failure.
Gary, you still need a ride to prom? I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. You know what? She got married.
He still has the corsage.
Exactly.
He put it on top of the turtle shell.
It's there. It's dry, but it's there.
I just imagine like Liam opening the door to the
finding-
closet and be like, "Oh, nothing's changed. There's little
yeah.
Danny. There's looks just like,
Looks like Danny.
and just so that's the ultimate turtle mind fuck.
But you always have to cut back to this like Kodachrome looking
Right.
old stock and bell bottoms.
The turtle POV.
Dude, speaking of Liam, he just turned 3, and
Happy
he
birthday.
is absolutely 120 million% obsessed with Star Wars. Like, I don't understand how like a 3-year-old is super into it, but I know it's my brother-in-law who watches it with him. But like, that's all he
knows.
He's got a stormtrooper outfit that he won't take off right now. Like, he just wears it constantly. He's just in it. He's got
yeah.
exactly.
Mike's
He's got a helmet
Stormtrooper
too.
Band-Aid.
He's got a helmet that he takes everywhere with him. It's nuts. I got him for his birthday. We got him a nightlight that shows the Star Wars solar system, but if you flip
Nice.
it over, it also shows the real solar system. So it's also kind of like educational.
It's half educational. It's like a
educational.
breakfast cereal that's half sugar, half wheat.
and it looks
let's-
like the Death Star.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
he is all about it. He knows everybody's name.
Does he try to force choke you when you say things he doesn't like? Does he try? Because that would be the scariest thing
Yeah.
if a kid learned how to do that. That would be like, what could Dad do?
You
Dad
probably could
you would
unlock that
always
part of
be
your
the-
mind at 3 too.
But I'm saying you would always be the Luigi in that relationship. From that on, you would always be.
Nice callback.
No, but you would like your own kid would be the Mario from then on, from fucking age 3.
Are you saying Mario
What
now?
does that do to a?
Have you always said Mario?
Your own kid would be the Mario.
He grew up in Brooklyn. What do you want from him?
I don't know. Feel outnumbered.
We'll leave this to the peaches, princesses, and toads and Bowsers of the world to decide afterwards if we have continued the proud tradition of Mario and Luigi, this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde issue of fatherhood that ultimately finds its crescendo in a great burning of bones and bodies on the final day this June this June afternoon where we pile the bones high and toast the fathers past and roast the fathers of the present and even some future fathers if they look sinewy enough, and we baste them with the blood and thank them for what
I'm gonna use that whole voiceover for like some weird Telltale video game series. Choose your own adventure.
We thank them for what they do, and keep doing it, because if we didn't have fathers, we would be grown in test tubes,
which happens. So I
Yeah.
guess it's
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is there's a lot of
fathers have taken a hit in the last few years.
I don't think you necessarily need a father, but it
another,
helps.
Another thing I remember is I used to steal. My dad kept a thing of mail pouch tobacco in his old truck glove box, and so me being 10 years old, 12 years old, and thought I was cool, I would get it's supposed to be chewing tobacco, but I would roll it up in leaves, and I would smoke it because I thought I was cool. I'd take it to my friend's house. Trevor, if you're out there listening. And then it was...
That's foul. Did you puke?
Oh, it was disgusting. But I was cool as shit in that moment.
Did you throw up all over each other?
No, there wasn't any vomiting, but it was...
A lot of passing out?
Yeah, I mean, it was more about, like, reaching a plateau of coolness, which you just can't do unless you're smoking leaves and chewing tobacco.
Yeah, I only had to steal my dad's liquor because he didn't smoke or do drugs.
Good man.
So,
yeah.
And he doesn't shoot cocaine.
no.
What are we supposed to do?
No.
When they're being such fuckers. Why do they have to be that way?
My dad did make me smoke a cigar, though, because he caught me smoking cigarettes and he tried
Oh,
to get
yeah.
me to puke.
I think I had to do that once,
It
too.
was,
Isn't it weird
It
how they
didn't-
always take you to a brothel at the same time? It's like, it doesn't, I get this weird kind of, like association from then on.
no, my dad never took me to a brothel. But
Had to do that on
Hey,
your own.
I had to go on my
Father's
own,
Day is still young, you know?
That's true. That's true. Where might you guys end up after a round of heavy, sustained drinking tonight?
And B.B. King music.
Hopefully, it will not be you roasting his flanks on the grill.
No,
on the great
no,
grill.
no. But I do plan on going downstairs and let my dad DJ. My dad, for when, usually on like his birthday or something like that, we'll go down into the basement and my dad will just put on records and just like play stuff,
Nice.
different
Awesome.
stuff that
That's
he
awesome.
likes and stuff I haven't heard before. And like it used to be more of like a. Now it's totally awesome and I love and I just let him do it. But like when I was like a teenager.
It was
like-
competitive. You were
It was
expected,
totally
you expected
competitive.
to know.
Like when I remember specificly being like
Ohio
11
players
years
again.
old.
Ohio players again.
No, my dad when I was it was probably 10 or 11 years old. My dad played Paranoid, the Black Sabbath record, and was like, this is, because he knew that I was listening to like heavy music at that time. He was like, I was into Metallica.
You're
Megadeth.
about to have your world
I was
blown
about
open.
right, and then like, and my dad thought he was like, being awesome because he had thrown me into like the Who and Led Zeppelin before that, and he was just like,
In like
he
third,
was just like
in third
amping me
grade, I
up.
believe it was.
He was like amping me up to like, okay, we're getting to Sabbath now. Now you will understand what metal is. And I like totally was like disinterested, and I was like, "No way, Dad!" And I, turned off the fucking record, and I put on Metallica Black album, and it was just like, "No, Dad, this is metal." And now, I can't tell you the last time I listened to that Metallica record, but I can tell you the last time I listened to Paranoid, which is probably a week or two ago. So sometimes you don't know what your dad's giving you until after the fact.
Now I wanna be your dad.
Well, he did that whole Stooges thing is real too, because my dad was freaking out that Iggy Pop was going to be on the
Right.
show, and he gave me Stooges Funhouse record and was like, "You don't understand who this is, but now you will." And I was like, "Oh,
You get an inkling.
Right.
My boy was just like me.
Dad.
Oh, okay. Truth be told, this morning I drove Kate to Port Authority so she could take the bus back to PA, and I was listening to 101.1, and they were playing like the 5 best dad songs, and I fucking cried twice. Oh my god! The Harry Chapin song came on, and I started singing it, and I started crying. I looked at her, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh, she was still in the car at the time?
It was so emasculating. It was just like
No. I think
and then the Mike and the Mechanic song came on afterwards.
Which one?
Through the Living Years.
Oh god,
that one just like my god. It was like the last verse. And
6th grade graduation.
He didn't get to say all the things he wanted to say to his dad. I'm like, oh guys, it was so rough.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day out there. We love you guys.
Yeah. Yes. Happy Father's Day. The Adventures of Danny and Mike stars Danny Tamborelli and Michael C. Morona. The show is produced by Jeremy Balin and Marianne Ways. This podcast is part of the Feral Audio Podcasting Collective and can be found on their website at feralaudio.com. For more information on the guys, visit our website at dannyandmike.com. Also, look us up on Twitter at Danny and Mike with the and spelled out, and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Adventures of Danny and Mike. Thanks for listening.